until late, and usually if he's $100 down, he wants to spend the night so he can start over again the next day.
Willie Nelson is a singer, actor, and activist from the United States. The critical and economic success of the albums Shotgun Willie, Redheaded Stranger, and Stardust made Willie Nelson one of the most recognizable artists in country music. He was one of the most prominent figures of outlaw country, a type of country music that emerged in the late 1960s as a backlash to the restrictive Nashville sound. Nelson has appeared in over 30 films, co-authored several books, and been involved in advocacy for biofuels and marijuana legalization. Nelson composed his first song at age 7 and joined his first band at age 10. He was born during the Great Depression and reared by his grandparents.
All the songs, the band knows them forward and backward, and it would be almost impossible to throw them a curve because, we play together so much, they know what I'm going to do.
If you enjoy these videos, please remember to hit the like button, as it does help us out a lot. And comment below who your favorite celebrity is that you'd love to see in an upcoming video. His full name is Willie Hugh Nelson, but is also known as Will. He was born April 29, 1933 in Abbott, Texas, making him 89 at the time of this production. He stands 5 feet 5 inches tall. In 1990, the IRS claimed that Nelson owed $32 million in back taxes and seized his assets. Nelson was a bit cash-strapped after a number of bad investments he made in the 1980s, so in 1992 he released the double album, The IRS Tapes, Who'll Buy My Memories, the sales of which, along with the auction of his property, paid his IRS debt. Over the years, Nelson has been arrested numerous times for possession of marijuana. The first time that happened was in Dallas in 1974. A notable time was in 1977 after a tour when Nelson went to the Bahamas. A customs officer found marijuana in the pocket of his jeans, and he was arrested and thrown in jail. He was released a few hours later, and charges were eventually dropped. However, Nelson was banned from the Bahamas. In 1994, police found marijuana in Nelson's car near Waco, Texas. In 2006, while traveling to former Texas Governor Ann Richards' funeral, Nelson was arrested in Louisiana and charged with possession of marijuana and hallucinogenic mushrooms. Nelson received 6 months probation. He was arrested in Sierra Blanca, Texas in November 2010 for possession of marijuana found in his tour bus while traveling from Los Angeles back to Texas. He was released after paying bail of $2,500. Nelson's lung collapsed in 1981 while swimming in Hawaii. He was taken to Maui Memorial Hospital. In 2004, Nelson underwent surgery for carpal tunnel syndrome as he had damaged his wrist by continuously playing the guitar. Nelson's a second-degree black belt in Taekwondo. Willie Nelson has been married 4 times and has 7 children. He was married to Martha Matthews from 1952 to 1962. They had 3 children, Lana, Susie, and Willie Billy Hugh Jr. Martha assaulted Willie several times. At one point, she sewed him into his bedsheets and beat him with a broomstick. Their son Billy committed suicide in 1991. Nelson was married to Shirley Colley from 1963 to 1971. They divorced after Shirley found a bill from the maternity ward and discovered that Willie had a daughter, Paula Carleen Nelson, with Connie Kepke. In 1971, Nelson married Kepke and had another daughter, Amy Lee Nelson. They divorced in 1988. He married Annie D'Angelo in 1991 and had sons Lucas Autry Nelson and Jacob Micah Nelson. Lucas Nelson is a celebrated country artist like his father, with an emphasis on rock with his band Lucas Nelson and Promise of the Real.
Kids on the bus, they grow up to be pickers themselves, and most of them have wound up out on the stage with me, singing with me every night.
Willie Hugh Nelson was born in Abbott, Texas. He's the son of Merle and Ira Nelson. His cousin Mildred named him Willie and chose his middle name Hugh in honor of her younger brother who'd passed away shortly before Willie was born. His parents moved to Texas from Arkansas in 1929 in search of work. His father was a mechanic and his grandfather was a blacksmith. His mom left the family not long after he was born. His father remarried and moved away, and then Nelson and his sister Bobby stayed behind and were raised by their grandparents. His grandfather bought him a guitar when he was 6 and taught him a few chords. His grandparents taught singing and started Willie and Bobby on their path to music. Nelson and his sister Bobby sang gospel songs in the church choir with their grandfather. Willie wrote his first song at 7, and when he was 9, he played guitar in a local band called Bohemian Polka. Willie went to Abbott High School, where he was very active in sports. He was on the football, basketball, and baseball teams. He also was a member of the Future Farmers of America, which he raised pigs for. During high school, he was in the band The Texans, formed by his sister's husband, Bud Fletcher. Willie sang and played the guitar in the band. The Texans played the honky-tonks and had a Sunday morning radio show. Nelson graduated from Abbott High School in 1952. He was in the Air Force for a short time and then enrolled at Baylor University to study agriculture. He was a member of the Tau Kappa Epsilon fraternity. Nelson dropped out of college after 2 years to pursue a career in music. While getting his music career off the ground, Nelson worked as a saddle maker, tree trimmer, bouncer, and at an auto parts shop. Nelson got a job as a DJ at K-Bop and moved to Pleasanton, Texas. In 1955, he recorded his first 2 singles, The Storm Has Just Begun and When I've Sung My Last Hillbilly Song, using the equipment at the radio station. He sent the demos to a local record label and was rejected. Nelson went on to work for a number of radio stations in Texas and played in nightclubs. He ended up in Portland, where his mother lived. During this period, he worked as a DJ at a number of radio stations in Portland, Oregon, and Vancouver, Washington. This was when he wrote a number of the songs that would become not only some of his biggest hits, but country standards, including Funny How Time Slips Away. Nelson moved to Nashville in 1960 and signed a publishing contract. He recorded his first album in 1962, and Then I Wrote. The album was a success. He signed with RCA Victor in 1964 and joined the Grand Ole Opry in 1965.
Had such a great record on that, and it was like the #1 all-time jukebox song for a while. So yeah, that's one, Nightlife, Funny How Time Slips Away.
In 1990, the IRS seized his assets, saying that he owed a whopping $32 million in unpaid taxes. He'd made some bad investments not long before, so he was already low on cash and unable to settle the bill. To settle his debt, he released a double album in 1992, pointedly titled The IRS Tapes, Who'll Buy My Memories? The sales of the album, along with auctioning his property, put him back in the black. In the years since, Nelson has been able to recover financially. He's continued to be successful in the music industry, and he's also invested in some lucrative business ventures. Today, his net worth is approximately $25 million. Nelson's net worth is estimated to be $25 million. Nelson owns Luck, Texas, a ranch in Spicewood. He also lives in Maui, Hawaii, with several celebrity neighbors. Cars you'll find in Nelson's garage include a Mercedes E320, a 1967 Ford Mustang, a rockin' 1983 tour bus, and a Rolls-Royce golf cart. A Ferrari,